I can guarantee you, Rich, they are going to be exhausted in this game, having to chase around Nova Southeastern in their full court attack.
And you can see the 7 seed against the 1 seed and the difference between the two. However, one thing working in the Toros' favor, the two teams they faced in the Elite Eight also played at an electric high tempo. So we'll see if they've learned anything in those two comeback wins. First possession, Cal State Dominguez Hills. David Cheatham into the lane, and he tried to sneak it through to Adam Afifi, and that's turnover number 1.
I mean, that was really good action for the Toros. They ran good dribble drive action to get into the paints. Just cannot turn the ball over. I mean, those possessions are a premium when you play Nova Southeastern.
Nova Southeastern is an extremely efficient offensive team. They shoot 51% from the field. They rarely turn it over. Great ball movement, and they've got Cicerik with a sweet little soft hook.
Well, you said it, Rich. It's not just about the full court press that you're seeing now and getting steals. They're analytically the #1 most efficient half-court offense in the country, according to Synergy Sports. It is exhausting to prepare for the Sharks.
There's a launch and a hit. Picking up where he left off, 33 in the semis, and Jeremy Dent-Smith hits his first shot of the game.
Dent-Smith's an All-American, and he is absolutely a kid that can give you 30.
Cicerik is just muscling his way in, and the Toros so far don't have an answer for him.
Everybody talks about Araldi and Graziani, but Cicerik really is the unsung hero of this Sharks team, the ultimate Swiss Army knife.
Can the Toros get points when they break the press? They certainly did in their earlier games. Dent-Smith short on that 3.
Watch the eyes and the push of Graziani. Just sets up Araldi perfectly. That Graziani gets the bucket, leads the country in scoring, but Graziani made that happen with his probe in semi-transition.
He leads the world in assists right now. I mean, like he's averaging over 9 a game. Now in the half court, Azizi, or Fifi rather, and a steal. This is Araldi. Cicerik can shoot the 3. Everyone can really handle the ball, including Eberhardt, and it's stolen from him. Cheatham in transition. Contact but no whistle. And down the floor come the Sharks. Graziani hammered out of bounds. And it'll be baseline out of bounds for the Sharks.
Graziani's eyes are always up. I don't think he ever looks at the ball once when he dribbles. He's got such a great handle. That thing is on a string.
And remember, he was the point guard of the championship team 2 years ago, went to Samford and played there and came back this year. Toros are a really good rebounding team, and they need to do a lot of that in this game. Afifi.
And you know, Rich, I think for the Toros, shots in the 12 to 15 seconds of the shot clock is poison for your offense. You need to score early or score late. I mean, taking a shot under 10 seconds is fine, but if you don't get a quick bucket, you should absolutely take time off the clock and run as much offense as you can.
Graziani short on that. And the benefits of that are?
Because the Sharks are trying to win the possession game. The more possessions they get, the more rebounds they get and steals they get, the numbers just add up. And that's a good look. Layups are exhausting to make as well because everybody's always closing out. You're always shooting layups rushed.
Araldi, player of the year in Division II, hammers home a 3. And after the opening bucket by Cal State Dominguez, 9 straight for Nova Southeastern.
Araldi's a true 3-level scorer, shoots over 40% from 3.
He'll stock Afifi. Got to be able to get points in low, and they do. Afifi, the senior out of San Jose, the transfer from Chico State. Turnover. All right, they've seen the press in their first 2 games in the Elite Eight. They're going to see an Elite One here.
This is going to sound very obvious, but every catch has to be perfect and purposeful because the trap is coming. You have to have a great sense of urgency on your layups because everybody for the Sharks are going to always look to get a block or deflection. And then you have to have a short memory. The turnovers are going to happen. You have to forget about it immediately, lock in, and play defense as well as you possibly can, and hurry up and get ready to break the press again.
Sharks like a platoon effort from their bench, and they've got 4 bench players in off this timeout. Graziani remains, and he hits a turnaround 15-footer.
He's got a little bit of old school point guard in his game. He doesn't really love to shoot threes, just at about 30%. Would prefer to play inside of the arc.
Part of the platoon system is just to bring fresh legs out to keep the tempo and the pace hot.
It's not just about steals. It is about mentally wearing you down.
Afifi misfires from the corner, and the rebound to Alex Mangold. Graziani again, got it, and he's fouled, and the little man's going to the line.
I just love the passion that Graziani plays with. And it embodies everything that's great about the Sharks. And one, jumper, emotion, got to love it.
Sharks, last 2 championship games. This was against West Liberty. An emotional, physical win for the championship. This was last year. This was heartbreak. Kyrese Willingham from his brother Tyrese Willingham, Minnesota State for the championship. Jim Crutchfield is right back in the championship game, 35-1 this year. And their heartbeat is at the line, Dallas Graziani.
Look at that stat. He's top 15 in the country in double-doubles at a 5'8" point guard. That's not points and rebounds. That's points and assists. That is almost impossible to do.
Little half-court trap. Garcia who hit the big shot to get them into overtime in the semifinals. Dent Smith with 33 points in that game. This is Garcia in the lane, and he hits.
You take your time, you pick your spots, and you keep the game simple. There's a lot of winning plays to be made by keeping the game simple and boring if you're Cal State Dominguez Hills.
And keep an eye on the defensive matchups here as well. Cicerek can shoot the 3, missed it. Good rebound by Jordan Hillstock, who's one of the glue guys. Is stolen from him, kept alive. Graziani has it at half court. Cicerek down the lane, kicks. And I believe...
Got a shot clock mistake.
Ah.
I don't blame him. That happens every once in a while. Everything goes so fast with Nova.
Well, they only average 102 points a game.
That's right. That's right. Most in Division II. Their scoring margin is plus 23 this season. Had to make sure that wasn't a typo.
They've hit 6 of their first 11 shots. That's Eberhardt. Boy, the Toros cannot afford to give up offensive rebounds to the Sharks. Eberhardt again, and that's what really hurts.
The analytics for Nova are not specifically about what kind of shots they take. The analytics are about winning the possessions battle. They want more possessions, either off turnovers or offensive rebounds.
DJ Guest, an 18-footer. Guest was a starter for most of the season. Now he's a spark off the bench.
That's 2 plays for the Toros where they found some breathing room in the mid-range jumper area.
They're going to have to defend and rebound, the 2 things that Steve Becker says is in their DNA. Reeves missed.
That was a great contest from Adam Afifi.
You saw Becker briefly there waving his team to go and go. He wants points in transition. Reeves steps through.
Love that.
Oh, what a finish.
Reeves. So good from Ross Reeves, the European step-through finish. They're not just pushing after turnovers, Rich. They are pushing after missed shots.
When Dominguez Hills has broken the press, they don't look interested in getting layups. And that was something that their coach, Steve Becker, talked about was important. It's not happening so far. Cicerek got popped in the mouth. And you can see him holding his mouth as he comes back up the floor.
The tough thing against playing against Nova, you think you have a layup, and it looks good initially. But Nova is so good at sprinting back, matching up, and recovering from the press that every layup feels rushed. Sometimes you end up turning it down.
Yeah, Reeves in the corner. A line drive three is off. And what Dominguez Hills wants to avoid is falling behind. Remember, they had to come from behind by 17 in the quarterfinals and 19 in the semifinals to win. Doing that a third straight time is unlikely, and that's a terrific spinning move by Afifi.
Multiple times CCAA member, all-conference member.
Eberhardt goes up for the dunk, and he's fouled. A 6-point lead for Nova Southeastern.
It just doesn't stop. Nova's always in attack mode. But the Toros hanging around because of Fifi. Little spin dribble finish. Tough. Got a good one.
Moments ago, Jim Crutchfield with our Tiffany Blackman.
Coach Crutchfield, 4 steals, 8 points off turnovers. What do you like about the defensive effort so far?
Well, I like the 4 steals. You know, we get a turnover, we got to score. I like the pace of the game, but we're just getting started.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
They averaged 25 points a game off turnovers. Cicerek did get some medical attention to that mouth. Let's see if we can find where he got hit, and it was his own teammate Araldi who got him with the elbow. Tyler Eberhardt at the line. It's a good free throw shooting team at 76%. Eberhardt is at 78%. They have missed both of their free throws so far. First impressions now here in this start, especially on the side of Cal State Dominguez Hills.
I think they've done a decent job breaking the press. I'd like to see them either score early or take their time and score later in the shot clock. More ball screen action with Den Smith, I think, would be welcome.
A little more urgency there, breaking the press and getting points.
That's the third mid-range jumper made from the Toros in this first half. They found something inside of the arc there.
Corner 3 is off. Eberhardt loosens the rebound, and the Toros have it. Jeremy Dent-Smith in traffic. Cheatham has been a real nice spark off the bench with a couple buckets. Jaden Winfrey off the bench as well. Long 3 is off. And the rebound to Ryan Davis. Sharks have not shot it well from distance. They're 1 of 8. Eberhardt, great spinning move. All the bigs for the Sharks can handle and act like guards if they need to.
But again, set up by Graziani. He was trying to go in the post, didn't have it, probed enough. You see the cut from the weak side. Nova's one of the best teams in the country scoring off of cuts in the half court.
They are definitely attacking the basket now off the press break.
I agree with that. There's been a point of emphasis, especially coming out of that timeout with the Toros. Here's the press break. Pass, pass, kick, and find something in the mid-range. You know, Coach Steve Becker told us it's a little bit of a chess game. We have to play our game. We'd like to slow it down more. We also want to take advantage of some of the chaos that Nova plays with. We can't do it all the time. We have to pick our spots when we actually want to attack that pressure.
Steve Becker was a point guard back in college at Cal State Monterey Bay. Huntington Beach native. And both benches going to arrive here. And he told us, hey, look, we have shot past so many firsts this year.
Yeah.
You know, 30 wins, first Elite 8. Cicerek is back in. So this has been a season where the Toros have blown through all kinds of school records.
They won 30 games. And there was a time from the starting in November. They had a 12-game winning streak. This team is very, very tough defensively.
Look at Garcia, missed the dunk. But the rebound back to the Toros. Guest. DJ Guest. He's got 4. And the lead is down to 4.
Attacking when they can attack. They've done a nice job coming out of a couple timeouts here. The Toros have of adjusting their game plan.
Araldi, difficult shot. Rebound knocked around off of Mangold and picked up by Garcia. Winfrey is a ball handler, not necessarily a threat to score, but he does with a running one-hander. He averages just a point a game.
Toros are either scoring early in the shot clock or they're scoring late, and I think that's the right recipe to run with the Sharks.
Cicerik against a smaller man. Graziani heaves one up and misses badly, and that's going to Dominguez Hills.
Graziani with the rare turnover, and Garcia sprints out, but a rare offensive rebound gives you an extra possession, and then a tough, smooth attack from Winfrey.
Winfrey is the trigger man. That's a huge responsibility against this press. He finds Garcia, who goes in and scores. And that's exactly what Steve Becker wants. Points off of press breaks.
They almost ran somewhat of a football play on that press break. You'll see a lot of Division II teams actually, it's like they're running football plays where you line up and run routes to get open against this Nova press.
Eberhardt inside.
He's been really good.
And the Toros seemingly don't have an answer down low.
Eberhardt's already got 7.
They break the press here. Hillstock's back in.
You can't stand, Rich, right? You have to run into space. You have to meet every pass. Every catch has to be perfect because Nova's trying to get deflections, steals, and make you uncomfortable.
Good ball fake, and Garcia's in to score again.
Tough ball movement, excellent ball fake and rip attack by Garcia.
Eli Allen is in, and a foul away from the ball.
It's very evident that the Toros and their, want you to watch over here, the sprints. It's almost like a football play. Everybody was lined up for the Toros in a football formation. I actually talked to multiple Division II coaches who had to play against Nova Southeastern. He said, we actually brought in our football coaches to help us set up routes for our team in a basketball standpoint to get ready for Nova.
Skip past Graziani. Corner 3 there, Davis. Off the miss. Winfrey's done a nice job of stirring up the tempo for the Toros. Dent Smith against Cicerik, goes right at him and scores. Wow. Individual dribble penetration is working for the Toros. They found something against this Nova defense. Graziani rises and misses. Look at the hops from Jordan Hillstock. And the Toros have a 2-point lead here. Hard drive, a block, no bucket. And a timeout on the floor. You just have a different sense of urgency from the Toros in these last 4 minutes. They are in total and complete attack mode. Are you kidding me? Toros up 2. Down 8. The 7 seed, Cal State Dominguez Hills, up now by 2. And they're doing it inside the arc with 18 points in the paint. Moments ago, their head coach, Steve Becker, with our Tiffany Blackman.
Coach Becker, we're seeing more of an attacking mindset against the press. What's changed?
You know, we went small ball earlier in the half than we have in previous games, and we just like the pace we're playing at. We have a lot of decision makers and guys that can make plays in the open court, and we trust our guys with their decisions.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany. Mike, it feels like they're playing like they played in the second halves of the quarterfinals and the semifinals with their big comebacks. And you can see at the rim has been key
for Cal State Dominguez Hills. They're 6 of 9 at the rim. In the first half of their game against DBU, they were missing layup after layup after layup. In the second half, they fixed it. But now you're getting a more complete performance, at least a good early start for the Toros. But something to remind you about Nova, they get better as the game goes on.
That is a launch, and it's short on a 3, but an offensive rebound from Jaden Winfrey. This is a small lineup out on the floor for the Toros. Biggest man is DJ Guest with the ball. He's 6'6". And a baseline jumper is off. Ryan Davis the rebound, and he's fouled. Hillstock with his first personal. You can see 4 team fouls on Dominguez Hills, 2 on Nova Southeastern.
Wouldn't be surprised if Araldi tries to hunt for something here.
Cicerek, corner 3, way off. Davis follows, fouled. I think Dent Smith with the culprit, and that's his second. That's the guy they can least afford to lose for any time in this game.
No question. Dent Smith brings so much to this Toros lineup. He has a very high usage rate. Very rarely turns the ball over. He's a gifted scorer off the bounce. They don't really have that kind of playmaker besides him.
Graziani's getting a little attention over there.
But Rich, you can afford to have Dent Smith go to the bench for a few minutes because you're up 1 in the first half on Nova. This is something that the Toros haven't experienced in their last 2 games.
It's a great point, and of course his value for much of the time offensively is beyond the arc. They're getting buckets inside the arc. Garcia.
Yeah, Winfrey for the Toros has to be really good here, controlling the tempo and pace of the game.
This is Cheatham, and he hammers home a 19-footer. Averages 11 a game. He's got 4. Is it an and 1? It is. Count it.
Tyler Eberhardt has been awesome in this first half for Nova. Doesn't feel like much has been clicking normally that we see from Nova, and they're just constant attack, except Eberhardt's been great. And then Cheatham, another mid-range, old-school dribble jumper for David Cheatham.
Eberhardt, kind of an unsung hero of this team. He doesn't get a lot of the headlines. Graziani and Cicerek and Araldi do, but Eberhardt's 12.6 rebounds a game. That foul on Hillstock, he's got 2. Dent Smith have 2. Something to watch for the Toros. Cal State Dominguez Hills. Shot clock down. 3 all the way, and a foul, and Cheatham has a shot at a 4-point play.
Everything that could have gone right in the first half of the Toros has gone right. You have players making and 1 threes. You've got Dent Smith getting rest on the bench, knowing that that's not going to last very long. Surviving the press. They're scoring against the press, Rich.
All of those were in the menu of how do you beat the Sharks in our meeting yesterday with Steve Becker. And there's Dent Smith. And you can see Jim Crutchfield's not used to being in this spot right now. That Sharks have cruised into the championship game.
In that first 4 or 5 minutes of the game for the Toros, they had 4 quick turnovers. They only have 5 with 5:33 left.
Great rebound by Afifi in the seated position. Winfrey drives. Guest spinning and missed it. Here comes Araldi. He has yet to really get going. Player of the year in Division II. Graziani's back. Little double clutch, and he scores.
He's just got intelligence and grit oozing out of him.
Garcia up the floor. Can they get points out of the press break? And they do. Again, press break points are starting to swell.
They're making layups in ways they didn't make in the first half against DBU when they got down 19.
18 of their points so far have come off of breaking the press. Transition here. And a good rebound and a foul on the Toros. And that's Hillstock. And that'll be his second.
Press break again for the Toros. They get good spacing. Did you see actually how Afifi drifts along the baseline to give better spacing on that 3-on-2 fast break? What a high IQ play by Adam Afifi, the big fella.
And here's the amazing thing. They didn't face any of this stuff throughout the regular season and the early NCAA tournament. It wasn't until they got here into the Elite Eight and they had to face West Liberty and Washburn. That's the first time they've faced a team that is similar to Nova with a type of tempo and the high scoring.
And two things from that, Rich, because it's a great point. Coach Becker said, we've kind of taken a learning piece from each of those games, and we think we've got a really good game plan because it's not exactly the same style, but the two teams that we just beat do set us up for success in how we play.
Yeah, and guys, they're leading the battle right now with points in the paint and total rebounds, and that's what Coach Becker talked to us about. They want to build through their defense, rebounding, toughness, and the ability to dominate the glass. He said is a huge identity piece for them, and then the offense will just come hand in hand with that as they allow themselves to push the pace.
All right, Tiffany, thank you. For all three of us, 3 key players for Dominguez Hills have 2 fouls right now. And can they get to halftime without those guys either on the floor or without them picking up another foul? Luke Lynn is in the game with the ball for the first time this afternoon. Kicked away. Cicerik. Lynn got a hand on it and pries it back loose. Nice play by the freshman out of Taiwan. Falling away. How about Winfrey? A creative offensive move, and again, he rarely shoots, but he's got 4 points in the game. Reeves with the drive, and he's clobbered. And he's down.
Cal State, Dominguez Hills, and Winfrey make it play after play. Wow, this first half for them.
In this championship game, Cal State Dominguez Hills is taking the tempo right back to Nova Southeastern.
And a huge key for the Toros is layups. I understand that sounds obvious and very boring and fundamentally sound, but you're always rushed shooting layups. You've never experienced it unless you play against Nova and how rushed you are with layups. They've only missed 1 layup this afternoon. They're 5 of 6 on layups. And they are executing perfectly, breaking that press. 18 points off of the Nova press, full court pressure. Excellent execution by the Toros in the first half.
Russ Reeves cuts the lead down to 3. And remember, if you're Steve Becker and Dominguez Hills, you have 3 of your best players right now on the bench with 2 fouls. And you got to get to halftime here with 3:47 left, and that's a turnover in backcourt, and that's right there is a great example. You don't have 3 of your best ball handlers.
It's a major issue right now. 3:47 on the clock. Nova is so good offensively. This is a team that averages 102 points a game, that in 3 minutes and 47 seconds, they can put up 15, 20 points.
Cicerik falling away, and the rebound to Afifi. Would you keep all 3 on the bench if you were coaching this team for the rest of the half?
Depends on how the next 90 seconds go, Rich. If you survive this next 90 seconds, there's nothing wrong with giving Den Smith more extra breathing room.
Winfrey, who has a couple of daring shots knocked loose from him. Graziani, and a scoop by Araldi, who got under and scores. And the lead is down to 1. 9 now for Araldi.
You won't find a team better in college basketball that takes a turnover into fast break offense better than Nova Southeastern.
Got to get it across, and they do, and beat the clock, and Lynn coughs it up. Ball's loose, and it's out of bounds and it's going to Dominguez Hills. And look, that's the decision.
Yeah.
Becker's like, I can't go much longer without these guys, and Dent Smith's coming in.
I thought maybe one more possession you could give Dent Smith, but you got to put him in early because Nova's starting to get a rhythm. They're just relentless, and they wear on you. And if you haven't played consistently against it, it can be suffocating. It makes you a hesitant athlete, and a hesitant athlete is a non-athlete, and that's exactly what the Sharks do to you.
As you saw in that replay, it was actually a kicked ball by the defense. And you can see the numbers here in the Elite Eight. Nova Southeastern's not used to being in this spot, but today they've run into Cinderella, and Cinderella is playing well. Turnover. That goes to Nova Southeastern. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Adam Zucker, Clark Kellogg, Jay Wright standing by in New York. Insights on the first half. Look ahead to tonight's Elite Eight action. It's all coming up, AT&T at the half. Nova Southeastern has caused 9 turnovers. Lob for Eberhardt. Well played by Garcia.
That was awesome sprint back help defense by Garcia. Saved that.
Oh, spinning with a drop step, and Eberhardt scores, and Nova Southeastern is back on top.
Eberhardt's the leading scorer for Nova. He's got 11.
Winfrey getting a lot of minutes. Afifi strong to the bucket. Press break, another bucket.
No hesitation by Afifi. An excellent, urgent catch.
Tempo starting to stir up for the Sharks. Graziani with a 3.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It just feels like the Sharks are circling a little bit.
Dent Smith getting sped up, lost it. Graziani has it, stays with the Toros of Cal State Dominguez Hills.
How can you not love Graziani's effort? Every single second he's out there, he's in attack mode on both ends of the floor.
He has 6 assists, 9 points, 1 turnover.
Yeah, we talked about how he is the best passer in Division II. He gets 9 assists a game, most in D2, but he also has a 5-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. That's also best in Division II. Crazy.
Afifi, a 3. Oh, what a huge bucket for the Toros. He's a 30% shooter from distance. And they're right back on top by 1. Afifi's got 9. Graziani. Eberhardt in the lane again, over Afifi, in and out. Coming up on the 1-minute mark, what's been a thrilling first half, this Division II National Championship game. Huge underdogs, the Toros. Corner 3, Winfrey, Eberhardt has the rebound.
It actually hasn't been the stars in this game. It's been a lot of the role players stepping up big by both teams.
Graziani, a little pick and roll. He's comfortable going to either the right or the left. That's kicked. That's a turnover. And the Toros are going to get it with 40 seconds left in this first half. And a 1-point lead over Jim Crutchfield's Nova Southeastern Sharks. 6 turnovers now for the Sharks. They don't do it that often, surprisingly, with the tempo that they play.
And Dominguez Hills only has 9 turnovers. If you can stay under the 20 turnover mark in the game, you've got a chance to stay with Nova.
Jeremy Dent Smith, Hawthorne, California. Cal State Dominguez Hills is in Carson, California. Oh, man, that's a 24-footer. Jeremy Dent Smith has got 9.
Are you kidding me with that shot, Dent Smith?
And 2 big threes have erased the Nova lead. Final seconds, first half, and the ball's in Graziani's hands. Cicerik against Guest. Final seconds, blocked from behind. Winfrey got it. Heavy underdogs, the 7 seed. Cal State Dominguez Hills at the half on a 6-0 run has a 4 4-point lead. We're back to Evansville after this. National Championship Saturday in Evansville, and the 7 seed Cal State Dominguez Hills has the lead over the 1 seed Nova Southeastern. Rich Waltz, Mike O'Donnell, Tiffany Blackman joins us shortly. One of the great things about any March Madness at any level is when Cinderella makes a run, and Cinderella played a great first half in this one.
Dominguez Hills was awesome, attacking the Sharks' full court press attack in ways they haven't all tournament long.
Yeah. All right, Reese's brings you the first half stats, numbers that jump out.
8 for 12 for layups for Cal State Dominguez Hills. That's a huge key, but 2 of those misses, they were actually fouled. So they've been very efficient in attacking the pressure for layups early in the shot clock.
Moments ago, Jeremy Dent-Smith of Dominguez Hills with our Tiffany Blackman.
Jeremy, this team effectively attacked and pushed the pace. What allowed you all to do that in that first half?
I think it was just playing at our pace. You know, we kind of just don't want them to dictate the pace. So all day in practice, we talk about play at our pace, whether it's us running or us playing in the half court. We know if we play at our pace and don't let them speed us up, then we should be pretty good.
You told us that you all had to be the first ones to throw the first punch. So how do you come back out here and start strong in the second half?
Same thing. Throw the first punch again in the second half, and then just maintain after that. They're a good team, so they're going to make a run. We're going to stay poised, stay confident, stay together, and we're going to pull out a win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Tiffany, turnover right out of the chute here for the Toros at Nova Southeastern with the first possession.
That's exactly what Nova wanted, getting a Fifi in no man's land for the trap. Drive, kick for 3.
Eberhardt hits the 3.
How good has Eberhardt been, Rich?
14 points. He averages a dozen a game. And here's the press. Let's see how they handle it coming out. That's a walk. 2 turnovers in 29 seconds is not a good start. That's not throwing the first punch, is it?
This is what Nova does. Here's the driving kick. Cicerik draws 2. Easy look for Eberhardt. We talked about how catching each pass with a sense of urgency was paramount for the Toros.
Reeves off a screen in traffic. Clock is down. Cicerik missed the 3, and the rebound to Dent-Smith. Dent-Smith, Jordan Hillstock, David Cheatham. 3 of the starting guards for the Toros open this half with 2 fouls each. Dent-Smith, long distance shooter.
Really good switching there defensively for the Sharks.
Cheatham has a mid-range game, and he buries another one.
We got some great old school YMCA game with the Toros and these mid-range jumpers, Rich. Looking like a young Rich Waltz in a Sunday afternoon YMCA pickup game.
Oh, yeah, right. 4 of 5 is Cheatham from the field for 10 points, and a foul in backcourt on Nova Southeastern.
This is where the Toros have been really good. It's actually isolation, one-on-one, I'm gonna beat you basketball. They've been spreading out their half-court offense, and where there's a lot of spacing and open drives, they've been running less sets and more just open style offense to drive and attack.
If you're just joining us, heavy favorites, Nova Southeastern. They lost in the championship game last year. They won the championship 2 years ago. Dent-Smith is in the lane, and a nice soft 12-footer and a steal, but no bucket.
Cicerik is hurt.
Cicerik in the backcourt right now is in some distress. Reeves misses the jumper. Afifi has the rebound. Cicerik is still grimacing as he backs up defensively. 5-point lead for the Toros. Quick trigger and a miss, and Cicerik goes down, and a rebounding foul. Afifi with the foul. It's his second.
You could tell Dent-Smith wanted this the whole way down when he saw Graziani on him, who has the height advantage. And then Cicerik gets kicked in an extremely difficult spot.
Understandable that he was grimacing.
Oh. Stays in the game. He's tough as nails.
Remember, he got popped in the mouth in the first half, was bleeding, had to go to the bench to stop the bleeding.
it's interesting, and this sounds kind of simple and obvious, but so much of Nova's system is less about analytics and it's more about toughness and tenacity. And I think a player like Riker Cicerik, the senior, fully embodies that system mentality.
And Cicerik gets the block, turning away a transition layup. Giraldi has 9 so far, stumbles through the lane and somehow scores.
He's been really quiet and just kind of waiting for him to get going. He only took 5 shots in that first half.
Excellent press break and good help by Reeves to knock it out of bounds.
The sprint back block by Cicerik after getting hit in a very difficult place. And then Giraldi, his 11th point of the afternoon. He's only taken 7 shots tonight. That's the D2 leading scorer.
Jim Crutchfield likes to replace his starters with a platoon. He's got 4 new Sharks on the floor. Graziani, the only starter that remains out there. Ryan Davis, Alex Mangold, Eli Allen, Alex Sessoms off the bench. Dent Smith. That's a 3, and that's good. David Cheatham. Look at this. The Toros aren't backing down. A 6-point lead. Cheatham's got 13.
That's the 5th made 3.
Graziani Sessoms with an excellent entry pass by Graziani. The lead is 4.
Just an easy 6 assists already. 7 assists for Dallas Graziani. Only 1 turnover. Dent Smith trying to make something happen, almost loses it, ends up fighting Cheatham in the corner, shooting that a little bit early in the shot clock, but you got to take it when you're that open.
Jim Crutchfield likes the platoon because it keeps the tempo fresh. It keeps the heat. And he says when you get to the mid-range point of the second half, that's when you see opponents' legs start to fail.
Well, C.J. Moore had a great article about their system, and it was so much about one of the interesting paragraphs was, basketball players live by habits. And if you don't let a team relax their minds enough, they won't have any habits to fall back on. And that is the analytical portion of this Nova Southeastern system, the mental analytical portion of it. Wearing you down possession after possession after possession. I thought that line about habits was so important. I always think about you do so much work in the offseason to build habits to when you're exhausted, you can fall back on those.
And they don't run gassers, they don't run lines, they just play, and they play, and they play at the tempo. And one of the reasons that works is they've got a guy like Graziani, that point guard, who is kind of the ringleader of the summer games and pushes everybody once they get to fall. Hillstock with a free throw. Tomorrow, the NWSL returns to CBS Sports Network. Get ready for an epic doubleheader. Chicago faces Louisville at 4 Eastern, and Angel City hosts Seattle at 8. Tiff, he's the little engine that can, right?
Yeah, you got that right, Rich. And he talked about his conversations he's had with Coach Crutchfield and about how, he's not the biggest guy, but whatever skills that you do have, they need to be on display just nonstop. And for him, it's his speed, also the height working to his advantage here. And Mike, you know about that.
Wow, that was a brutal, absolutely brutal gut punch as a height choke. It only hurts because it's true, Tiffany.
Line drive 3 is off. Cicerik is blasted on a rebound, and that's Hillstock. It'll be his 3rd personal.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You saw just right there, you have Graziani going to pick up Cicerik, and it was really interesting because I loved watching Graziani on film. He's just a bulldog in how he's always in attack mode. And I asked Cicerik, I said, what's it like playing with Graziani? He said, well, when I first got to Nova, I had heard that, boy, you're going to love playing with Dallas Graziani. He's just so fun to play with. And Cicerik was like, okay, but I mean, how true is that really, as Giraldi knocks that in? And he said, after the second pickup game, I said, oh, yeah, I figured it out. I got it. I'm loving playing with this guy.
Giraldi now with 13. Press break. Let's see what kind of look they get. Garcia strong to the bucket. Contact, no whistle. And the rebound to MJ Giraldi.
One of the few missed layups so far in this game for the Toros.
Cicerik in the low blocks. Backing in against Guest, who is a guard. Cicerik gets Missed the bucket, and he'll get a free throw.
The patience by the senior, Riker Cicerik, was on display. Take your time, pivot foot, lean in, draw the foul. Nova down 1.
This is the Elite 8 for Division I. And you see the doubleheader on CBS. And tonight games on TBS, Duke, Alabama, Florida, and Texas Tech.
How good have the Sweet 16 been? Just off the charts. I think Duke, Alabama, first one to maybe 105 wins that game, Rich. And Tennessee and Houston, 2 of the best offensive teams in the last 5 years. That is going to be like a Rocky Balboa heavyweight fight. My goodness, the physicality in that game is going to be off the charts.
Cicerik completes a 3-point play. 50 apiece here. The Elite 8 of Division II basketball and the championship game here on a Saturday in Evansville. Such a great tradition. And a steal again. The Sharks have come out hot defensively. I think second half.
Ross Reeves, in particular, number 6 for the Sharks, has done an excellent job of getting deflections and steals and creating havoc.
Eberhardt misses his 3, and Jeremy Dent-Smith has the rebound. Baseline drive, standing out of bounds when he caught the ball was DJ Guest. If you're just happening by, that man, Steve Becker, has had an incredible run through the Elite 8. They had to erase second half deficits of 17 and 19 points in the quarters and the semis just to get here. Then they faced the number 1 seed, Nova Southeastern. Won the championship 2 years ago, did Nova. They lost the championship game last year. And the Toros of Cal State Dominguez Hills have hung tough so far. Iraldi misses there. Dent-Smith rebound. Good crossover.
Carry.
They'll call it a carry.
Yep, it went over up to his chest, and you see where his palm goes from underneath the basketball to over top the basketball. In pickup, that works every time, and nobody calls it. Graziani, guarantee you he's calling that in pickup. I would hate to play against Graziani in a pickup game. It would take me about 3 months to get properly stretched out and to prepare for that matchup.
He nestles that one off the front iron, and down it goes.
Relentless.
11 now for Graziani.
Football
Long
play.
throw. That's Guest. And he missed it. Cicerik altered the shot.
Sometimes if you're not quite sure about that layup, just dribble it out. Go ahead and dribble it out if you think you don't have a good angle.
This is a 7-0 run right now by Nova Southeastern, the 1 seed. Iraldi.
That's tough.
It's go time for him. And that's going to be a block. Dent-Smith at the bottom of that pile.
That was
his third foul.
That was an elite move from Iraldi.
Was it a block?
Let's look at Graziani here. This is where he's really good in pick and roll. Waits, hits before he gets it. All smaller guards have to have that. And Iraldi close, moving a little bit, Rich. 50-50 play. I say you make the call and you move on. But right before that, Iraldi had a great jab step, move and go. He's really good at his body control, and where he always is looking to find that angle. He only needs like 1 or 2 inches of space to find the right angle, and his feet always win.
Remember, Iraldi was not on the championship team. This is his second year as a Shark. Dent-Smith with his 3 fouls. He had to step through and then stop and float it, and he did it perfectly.
Yeah, Dent-Smith doesn't beat you with speed, but he's got a lot of James Harden, first right step. He's got that smart first step in his game.
It's a held ball and stays with Nova Southeastern.
Good players beat you with speed, but great players beat you with space, pace, and timing. And that is such excellent body control and pace by Dent-Smith. That's, Rich, that's a hard move to do. You caught it, you sprint, and then you got to have balance.
Yeah, well, Mike, you brought up James Harden and Jeremy Dent-Smith talking to us about him. He said that he really worked this year on how to make reads. And so he listened to Harden talk about how that's made him a better player. So he put in the time to get better at it, watching film with Coach Becker so he can make decisive reads and be a step ahead of the opponent. And that helps big time.
All right, thank you, Tiff. 3 in transition, rims out, and right now, Nova on a nice run. Steal there, and Hillstock gets clobbered by Araldi at midcourt. It's a 10-2 run right now over the last 3.5 minutes. Look at this little creative pass.
Once you look at Araldi right there, they just kind of line up, wait, and Graziani just throws it right over the top. They do that once or twice a game, where you think they're running some intricate box set, where really Graziani, all he's doing is just seeing which defender isn't looking, and they throw it right over their head.
Nova Southeastern, another hockey change, right? 4 guys over the boards, back on the floor to keep the tempo, the pace, and the defensive pressure fresh. Dent-Smith weaving.
Oh, dangerous fall.
Oh, that was Hillstock who went up, came down. Graziani in full go force. Davis busts his way in and scores. And you feel the momentum right now is shifted to the 1 seed.
It only takes about 1 minute and 30 seconds for Nova to find rhythm and pace.
It's been a tight rotation, essentially a 7-man rotation for Dominguez Hills, and you can see right now their legs are starting to wobble a bit.
You took that shot because you were tired. That's what that shot was, and that's what Nova does to you.
Graziani, difficult shot, and Winfrey blocks it and then helps Graziani up.
Dent-Smith on the miss, and oh my goodness, that is a dangerous fall. But you know what I love about Hillstock? He sprinted right back up to try to get back in transition. Tough finish on the other end by Davis.
Dent-Smith and Hillstock both with 3 fouls.
Oh, Araldi, that
again,
is so good.
Oh, and he missed the bunny and missed the follow, but keeps it alive. Graziani has it now. Dent-Smith is having to lean on Cicerik. Remember, he's got 3 fouls. Reeves pulling up, missed it. Offensive rebounding, dominance by Nova, and a foul on that shot. And Araldi's going to get free throws when we get back. The 1 seed starting to flex their muscles. The Sharks by 5. Back in Evansville, new CBS Monday. Grab your gear. Get out with an exciting new NCIS. CBS Monday, 9, 8 Central, and streaming on Paramount+. It's such a tradition to come here to Evansville, and there are people that we see every year as CBS pulls in, and this is one of the guys. He's been a fixture here for 30 years at the Elite 8 for Division II. National Media Coordinator Roy Pickerel, who is retiring after this tournament, and said this is his last Elite 8, and he's ready to go from, it's going to turn in the tie and the credential and come as a fan now.
How about that? And I just have to say the hospitality and organization of this D2 championship has been awesome. This is my first experience, and it has been an absolute joy. And it's not due to me; it's due to this Division II administrative team.
Free throw number 1 is up and in from MJ Araldi. He's got 17. One difference moving forward, the championship game of Division II men's basketball will now be at the Final Four site. So next year, the Division I Final Four that weekend will include the D2 championship game. See the run, 14-2, almost 4.5 minutes. Let's see what Cal State Dominguez Hills has left in their tank.
You see how quickly that Araldi switches? He doesn't just switch to guard, he switches to get a deflection without overcompensating and losing his ground.
Yeah, they don't want to lose contact with Jeremy Dent-Smith right now.
Right.
Afifi in, ball knocked loose. In transition, Araldi rises, foul trouble, is a huge issue right now for the Toros.
That's the fourth.
Let's see who they get the foul on.
That's the fourth foul on Adam Afifi.
It is. Afifi with 4 now. He's their leader in rebounding, in block shots, in double-doubles. They don't have really another big as an option off the bench. He's it. And Raldi is starting to pile up the points. He's got 19, and he stays at 19, and an 8-point lead for the Sharks.
I think we're seeing some tired legs and poor shot selection from the Toros here.
Dent Smith gets fouled. He'll get to the line and get 2.
In the first half, the Toros shot 56% from the field, and in the second half, they're at just 26%. And some of that is shot selection, and some of it is just Nova getting their second wind.
And speaking of getting your second wind, in the Elite 8 here at Division II, there is a day between all the games. Quarterfinal, day off, semifinal, day off, championship, day off. And Dominguez Hills has needed all of that because they played 2 up-tempo teams. They had to come back from a 17 and then a 19-point deficit in those 2 games. And here they are in the late stages of this one, the midpoint of the second half with a real test. Down by 6.
And they don't have the luxury of hockey substitutions like Nova does.
No, it's just 2 men off the bench is what they've used. Graziani off with a shot. Guards really have to rebound now for the Toros. Dent Smith. Good rotation. DJ Guest.
That's tough.
And a bucket. Much needed. And it's a 4-point lead. He's got 6. Giraldi was trying to pick and roll with Cicerik. And Giraldi, so strong. 6'6", he's got 21.
Great players are excellent at decelerating when they drive. And not everybody can do that. You got to have great balance to decelerate like Giraldi just did on that play. That's a foul.
Not called. Dent Smith, not called. And he scores with the left hand.
And that's normal for him. He makes those difficult shots look routine.
17 for the 6'2" guard out of Hawthorne, California. 4-point game. Reeves almost lost it. Giraldi saves it. And a turnover. Garcia had a good first half. He's been quiet in the second half. Floater. Oh, wow. He's starting to take over like he did in the semifinals when he poured in 33.
Sometimes Dent Smith plays like he's just in his backyard, hooping. I love his game.
It was an 8-point lead, and that was the biggest, and it's down to 2. Giraldi kind of forced it there. And Jeremy Dent Smith has it. 3 of their last 3 to climb back within 2.
But his last 2 buckets have come in semi-transition, attacking the Sharks quickly.
He was thinking 3 there. He's got a taller guy in Cicerik on him.
Good Hezzy.
Gets by him. Oh!
Mercy!
He cut between the 2 defenders, hung in the air, took the contact, got the bucket. And Cal State Dominguez Hills is tied again with the 1 seed Nova Southeastern. Fourth time this game has been tied. Reeves falling away. Eberhard tips it. Recovered by Hillstock. Boy, Dent Smith has really had to work for everything in this game. You can hear the crowd that's come here for the Toros trying to get him through. Step back 3, long rebound, and it's collected by Cheatham Fresh 20 on the clock.
Cheatham had an awesome first half, went a little quiet in the second half, but that's, you want to talk about gifts, an extra possession for the Toros.
Dent Smith is really breathing hard right now. Cheatham sees that, goes himself, and misses a 12-footer. Graziani slips, and he walks. That's a turnover. Cinderella just won't go away here in Evansville.
I'm exhausted. My hamstrings are sore. My hip flexors are sore. This has been battle after battle after battle. A tie game here for the championship.
Our Reese's game summary here. The 7 seed, Cal State Dominguez Hills. The 1 seed, Nova Southeastern, 62 apiece in the national championship game with just under 7 minutes left. Jeremy Dent Smith dropped 33 in the semis, and he has brought Dominguez Hills back in this one.
And Dent Smith is not just doing it on the offensive side of the floor. He's got 8 rebounds as well, and there have been some Kyrie-like finishes from Dent Smith. 21 points for the All-American.
You see his numbers in the second half. Tiffany Blackman, you were near that huddle for the Toros. What'd you hear?
I was, and I heard Coach Becker's message loud and clear. He said the game shifted when we got better at getting defensive rebounds. And then he leaned in closer to his guys, and he told them, this is a tight game. He said, we're winning it. That's the message he told these guys. He said, we live here. Remember all their comeback wins. They've been in this position before, guys.
All right, thank you, Tiffany. Hillstock hits a shot out of the timeout. DJ Guest fell with the ball, but kept the dribble, kept the possession, and they get a 3 out of it and open up a lead here. Wow. 9 lead changes, 4 ties in this game. Araldi short on the jumper. There's that defensive rebound lacking there, and it costs Dominguez Hills 2 points.
Ryan Davis has made a couple just monster effort plays for Nova.
So this is a little change in the platoon with Davis in, because he's in with that first unit. Cheatham, Hillstock, Garcia, Dent Smith. Another 3. That one from Cheatham is off. Garcia with the rebound. Fresh possession.
Garcia's kept 2 or 3 possessions alive in this game through offensive rebounds.
Guest misses. Davis rebounds for Nova.
I don't think that was a bad offensive possession for the Toros. I thought that was two pretty good looks.
Araldi forces the contact. Hillstock picks up his 4th personal foul. And once again, foul trouble for a team that's not real deep arises for Dominguez Hills.
And sometimes you may think, hey, you got a foul. At least we can catch our breath. But you know, off of a made free throw for Nova, you're dealing with the full court press.
Araldi, a great second half. Catching your breath is a good reminder that, as you see the foul trouble, Cal State Dominguez Hills has 3 timeouts left. And teams don't usually get to this juncture against Nova Southeastern with that many timeouts.
Coach Becker hasn't had to call that timeout to stop a Nova run. They've executed their game plan so well that he's got 3 timeouts in his back pocket. And we're coming up under that, very sacred under 4-minute mark of the second half of the national championship game. I mean, you've got to be really happy about that if you're Coach Becker.
Jaden Winfrey is in the game. He replaces Hillstock for the Toros. Winfrey had a couple buckets in that first half. Jaden Smith getting a lot of defensive looks into the corner. Garcia rims out. And the rebound to Araldi. And the Sharks have a 1-point lead and the ball with 5 minutes left. Graziani falling away. Got it up. The tip is loose. And collected by the Toros, who are fighting the Sharks and fighting fatigue all at the same time.
There's really only been about a 90-second stretch, and it happened in the second half where the Toros looked tired, especially Dent Smith. They've kind of weathered that exhausted storm.
Dent Smith is absolutely mauled down the lane, and he's going to get to the line.
Actually, initially looked like most of the contact happened after the shot went up.
After the shot, though, watch
there's
this.
a bump there from Araldi.
Well, I mean, Cicerik landed on him.
There's one bump, and then Cicerik, yeah. That's done. Den Smith has taken hit after hit this afternoon.
Cicerik has 2 fouls. Again, Nova Southeastern much deeper, so they've avoided foul trouble.
This is definitely the guy you want at the line if you're the Toros. He's over 82% from the free throw line. First team All-American last season. He's an All-American this season.
He's got 22. Tied again. 4.5 left.
Good defense from Garcia, sniffing out that DHO.
Cicerik, Graziani. Pick and roll, but no completion. And an opportunity to run up the floor. Den Smith, layup, and he's fouled. And he's back at the line with a chance to give the Toros the lead.
This is such a great outlet pass. It's called a look ahead or a throw ahead. And you've got to be ready to throw that as soon as you catch it.
It was Jaden Winfrey. He's played well off the bench. Just a second away from the 4-minute mark, the under 4 timeout coming up. Steve Becker certainly can use that to give his club a rest. Afifi comes back in with 4 fouls, and they'll get him out. They'll get Den Smith out just for an extra few seconds.
It might be only a couple possessions at the max, and they do have those 3 timeouts.
And again, here's how they've arrived. They had to erase a 17 and a 19-point deficit against high-tempo teams. And Araldi gets in and scores again. He's got 25 now. 68-68.
It really felt like Araldi just needed to have the ball in his hands. And Araldi's starting to cook a little bit here. He's got 25 for the game.
Winfrey gets in tight, lost the ball. Arrow is going to stay with Cal State Dominguez Hills. Timeout, national championship game, 68-68. Cal State Dominguez Hills, Nova Southeastern. Rich Waltz, Mike O'Donnell, Tiffany Blackman. National championship game, 68 apiece.
"12 seconds on the shot clock here. Den Smith's been trying to hunt for mismatches, and he's got it right now.
Against Graziani.
He's got it. Now everybody spaces out. See, everybody moves and spaces out one-on-one.
Offensive foul, and that's his 4th. That's a hard way to pick up your 4th foul. He's the last guy they can afford to lose.
Watch Graziani, got away with a foul. There should have been a foul called on Graziani right there. 2 hands on Den Smith, but then Den Smith extends that offhand, and Graziani sells it.
Foul trouble. A trio with 4. Cicerik throws it somewhere. Eberhardt saves him. Dumps it back in. Davis missed. Follow. A miss. Den Smith, the smallest man there, gets the rebound, and he's fouled. Wow. That's 9 rebounds now for Jeremy Den Smith.
And watch the fight by Davis. Number 1, misses it, attack, stays with it, going after it again, almost gets it again, jumps into the trap.
There was no foul.
Because if there was a foul, it should have been to the free throw line.
I thought it was a foul, but it's a possession for Dominguez Hills. Den Smith trying to get loose. Garcia, little handoff, and a love tap to Davis. He's in the lane. He's on the move. Missed it there. Giraldi has the rebound, 68 apiece, 2.5 minutes left in this national championship game.
I think if you're Den Smith, even though you're exhausted, you got to do whatever you can to not fade away on layups.
Den Smith has the rebound, racing down the floor, and he scores, and he's fouled. Wow, what can he do?
So much better than that previous layup attempt for Den Smith. He didn't avoid the contact. Graziani with the miss. Den Smith gets his rebound. Watch him hit first. Great guards, watch. High school guards watch that play over and over again. You hit before you get hit to draw the foul. And the double-double for Den Smith. 26 points, 10 rebounds. Don't forget, though, 4 fouls.
Giraldi now, 3-point lead for Dominguez Hills. Everhart, a 3, missed it. Rebound to Hillstock. 2 minutes left. They break the press.
You might need to think about just face guarding Den Smith right now. That's what Davis is kind of doing.
Oh, good move there by Guest.
My.
Kicks to the corner.
My.
3 on the way, missed it. Rebound to Nova Southeastern. Graziani, that's a double dribble, and that's a turnover. The veteran point guard in backcourt. 1:45 left.
It almost never happens to Graziani. Eyes are up, 2 hands on the ball. Tried to hide it.
9 assists, 4 turnovers.
Giraldi with the steal. I told you, when you catch it, you almost have to be borderline in panic mode because of how quickly a trap can come.
Cicerik, a 3, tipped out of bounds, and it stays with Nova Southeastern. You can review that. We're under 2 minutes.
Yeah, they're taking they deliberated just briefly if they should go to review. Well, we're going to get a review.
Just that first look, it looks like both hands are swiping at it.
Yep. But it's got to be, there has to be inconclusive evidence to overturn it.
Well, conclusive, decisive evidence.
Conclusive evidence, excuse me, yes.
The previous call of out of bounds is under review. Media timeout.
And obviously the first call, the call on the floor, holds great weight in this decision. And that call is Nova Southeastern ball. Here's another angle. Ooh. What do you got, Mike O.D.?
To me, there's just not enough there to make a definitive decision that I would overturn it.
Oh, we say hi to one of our favorites. Gene Steratore, what did you see?
I believe it's going to stay with White, fellas. I think that left hand really was last touched by Dominguez Hills, and to me, I think they stay with the ball with where it is with White.
All right. How do you judge that, Gene? Is it the spin of the ball when it comes off of the swipe?
Well, I mean, if you've got to go to that place, Rich, you first naturally you want to see it, clear as clear and obvious as you can. I think this is one that you've already alluded to, both of you, and that is, it's got to be 100% conclusive the opposite way to overturn. I just think from all the really good angles we have, it's one of those plays where you just
After
might
review,
not have
the call on the
a
floor
clearly
is
definitive look.
White basketball.
All right, thank you, Gene. They confirmed the call, so what they saw confirmed that it was off of Cal State Dominguez Hills.
And in this baseline out of bounds play, I can almost guarantee you that Coach Becker told his guys, do not stand still right before the ball is being inbound, because Graziani is so good at just throwing over top your head when you're not looking.
You sure he didn't say, hey, don't fall for what Kelvin Sampson drew up yesterday?
That's right. A genius
with
play
Houston.
call.
Graziani will inbound. Nova Southeastern's missed their last 5 shots.
Got to go to Giraldi here.
Giraldi looking for the ball. Good job by Garcia to deny it. Cicerik spinning, gets it up, missed it. Follow, no! Rebounding foul. Let's see who it's against.
Oh, that's on Den Smith. That's his 5th foul. I do not agree with that call at all, but that is the 5th foul for who has been the best player on the court this afternoon.
Steve Becker wants a review to see if they got the right player in this foul. And so the official is at the monitor. Here's a look. Okay, the foul comes off the next sequence. And it looked like it was him, right?
Yeah,
it's clearly him.
If you're going to call a foul, you should call it on Den Smith. But there is no way that a foul should have been called on that play. And how physical it's been, how fast this game has been, I don't agree with that call at all.
So he leaves with 27 points and 10 rebounds. He is the leader and the catalyst for this team. And he leaves with a 3-point lead. Cicerik at the line. Free throw is up and good. So how do you replace him? The guy off the bench is Jaden Winfrey. He's had some nice moments, but he certainly isn't the scorer or the shooter that Dent Smith is.
And you've got timeouts. If you're Dominguez Hills, you still have 3 timeouts. So if something isn't quite working, don't force any action. Call a timeout and save yourself.
See if they can break the press here. This is DJ Guest. They have good guards out there. And Guest is one of those. Breaks the press. This is Winfrey, who hands off to Cheatham. Cheatham's got 13 points. He's the only other player in double figures.
He's been good in mid-range.
Doubled, kicks. Winfrey's not a 3-point shooter. On the way, missed it. That's Hillstock. And the rebound to Nova Southeastern. Down a point. Here come the Sharks. 44 seconds left. Graziani driving. And he's bumped, and that's a foul.
I was wondering what the Sharks were going to do on that possession. Do you call a timeout? And I looked at Coach Crutchfield, and he just waved his hand. He said, just go, 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 attack.
From that angle, he was more than bumped. Cheatham reached across, and a clear foul.
Yes, absolutely agree with that foul call.
Graziani to the line. And he can give the Sharks the lead. Timeout, Cal State Dominguez Hills, 71 apiece, 40 seconds left in this national championship game. 40 seconds left, our reset, 2 timeouts left for Cal State Dominguez Hills. And we check in with Tiffany Blackman. Tiff?
Guys, I just listened in to the huddle with Coach Crutchfield, and he calmly told these guys, give it everything you got. You've got to play smart. And that calm demeanor, Mike, you know about that. That's what you need down the stretch from your coach, right, in these moments.
No question about it. The calm demeanor about playing smart means that they're going to continue to press, but you need to press without fouling, without stopping the clock and putting Dominguez Hills on the free throw line. I think your 2 best for Dominguez Hills, your 2 best attackers on the offensive side of the floor are Cheatham and Garcia. Those are your 2 guys that you got to look to make the play.
Graziani with 2 big free throws.
Huge.
Nova Southeastern up. 12 lead changes, 8 ties, 1-point game, 32 seconds left. Toros with the ball, down a point. This is Cheatham falling away. Difficult shot, and he hits it.
Mid-range all day.
1-point lead. 20 seconds left. Araldi going hard, and he's fouled. He'll get 2 free throws.
They went to Cheatham, ISO play, mid-range at 15 feet, and just go make a play. He's made about 3 of those this afternoon. And then Araldi, oh boy, that was close. They was above the restricted line. Looked like he was standing still too.
That looked like a charge.
Yeah.
And that foul is on Hillstock, and Hillstock now has fouled out. So Dent Smith is out, Jordan Hillstock is out.
And you've also got a Fifi with 4 fouls as well.
Here's a look. Oh, foot's in the arc. Gene Steratore caught that back in New York.
That's
so
the right
foot's
call.
in the arc. That is the correct call. You remember, you go back, I mean, look, Evansville delivers every year. This was last year in the final moments. Minnesota State. Kyrie Swillingham from his brother Tyree Swillingham. And an 88-85 win on that corner three, and it sent Nova Southeastern home after they had an opportunity there to repeat as national champs. They won it 2 years ago, that heartbreak last year, and here they are in a tight one against Cal State Dominguez Hills.
It's no surprise that Nova Southeastern is here. They've been the best team in D2 all season long. They lead Division II in scoring. I mean, Coach Crutchfield has won 86% of his games. It's the highest winning percentage of any coach with at least 10 years of experience at any level in NCAA history.
You saw in that reset, one timeout for Cal State Dominguez Hills. 2 free throws for an 83% free throw shooter. The National Player of the Year in Division II. It's MJ Iraldi, and 2 key players are out now for the Toros.
And every time Nova's needed a bucket, it felt like Iraldi was there to give them that bucket.
8 of 10, now 9 of 11 from the line. He's got 26. So Steve Becker has a timeout he can use to set up that last possession scenario. Iraldi's free throw is good. And Nova Southeastern, with 18 seconds left, has a 1-point lead.
I think they're going to try to get it across half court and then call a timeout.
Winfrey coming towards the bench. No timeout yet. 10 seconds left. Down a point. This is Cheatham. National championship on the line. Cheatham driving. Gets it up. Ball's loose. Tipped. Nova Southeastern. National champions again.
Just a gutsy, gritty performance for Nova Southeastern. They've been the best team in Division II all season long. They had to come up with a huge stop. With all the talk about their offense, it was their defense that won them the D2 National Championship. You forced a difficult shot, got the rebound, sealed the deal. Jubilation on the sideline.
And Afifi had rebounding position there off the miss, but couldn't corral it.
And actually, you know who saved that possession? Riker Cicerik, the senior. He got his hand on the ball right as Afifi was going to grab the rebound. Cicerik essentially just saved that entire last possession. Wow.
Champions in 2023, heartbreak in the championship game last year, back in Evansville, and again, champions. That little guy was the point guard in 2023, went to Samford, portaled out, played last year at Samford, portaled back in, and now he's a 2-time champion.
How special is that? He is just all heart and soul, Dallas Graziani.
Let's go down to Tiffany Blackman. Tiff.
Guys, with MJ Iraldi. MJ, you were part of this team last year when you all lost in this game. What does it feel like now to come out on top?
That's surreal. Didn't imagine it going any other way. I knew it would go down to the wire. Cal State's a great team. We just happened to end up on the right side today.
You hit those free throws to put the game on ice. You talked about this team being a family. Was that the difference for you all down the stretch?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we're such a close group. Always believed in each other. Really just battled down. Played great defense, and that's the difference in the game.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
All right, Tiffany. Cicerik as well was not on that championship team, so sweet for him to get to hoist a trophy.
just one of the best stories in college basketball, regardless of division. If you've been following, it's a system at Nova Southeastern that is impossible to scout against. It's almost unfathomable to play in and understand, and the system won it.
But it wasn't easy. Cal State Dominguez Hills with a tremendous effort and narrowly missed that last shot. Congratulations to Nova Southeastern. They are national champions for the second time. For continuing coverage of the trophy presentation, go to cbssports.com/watch/college-basketball or go to the CBS Sports app. For Mike O'Donnell, Tiffany Blackman, Gene Steratore, our entire CBS Sports crew, I'm Rich Waltz, saying so long from Evansville. Nova Southeastern champions again. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.